right now. Today is the day that you choose to change the rest of your life. It is time to turn your setback into the greatest comeback story ever told, and nobody is more capable than you. Friday! This is the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast, the future #1 weight loss podcast in the world. I am your host, Donato Russo. I hope you enjoy the show today. If this is your first time here and you enjoy the show, please subscribe and spread the word of the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast wherever you are and to whomever will listen. If you'd like to connect on social media or wherever else, check out my Linktree page, Linktree/the Ranting Weight Watcher. Let's connect today. Welcome everybody to episode 120 of the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast. If this is your first time here, welcome. Welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you subscribe, and I hope you spread the word of the Ranting Weight Watcher. I got a packed show for you today. Let's get into this! Journey updates. So we are down 1 pound this week. And because it's also the first weigh-in of the month, we are down 1 pound for the month of December so far. Total loss since January 2019 is 151.4 pounds. Total pounds remaining to get to our next milestone goal, which is 175. 23.6 pounds away. Total pounds remaining to get to our big milestone goal of minus 200 is 48.6 pounds away. No complaints. Everything is turning around just like we expected. We had a couple of weeks of some anomalies. Well, my tooth drama hasn't really ended yet. I still have an infection in the tooth, and I had to go for another round of antibiotics. And to be honest with you, I don't feel like this round is helping me either. It's been taking a lot out of me. Let's just say it that way. I want to give you an update on my consistency challenge. So I decided from Thanksgiving, basically after Thanksgiving, however many weeks were left in the year, I was going to use the rest of the year with one goal in mind, to make 5 workouts a week consistent. Because before that, my consistent was 4 workouts a week, and I would get 5 here and there. But now we're trying to make 5 workouts a week be consistent, and I want 2 of those workouts every week to be a Leslie Sansone workout. So 3 walks, 2 Leslie Sansone, or whatever it is. But as long as the minimum is 2 Leslie Sansone workouts, that's the requirements, and it has to be 5 workouts in a week. So since we started this, we are now on week 3, and week 2 ended well. So week 1, not so good. So we adjusted. Week 2, we got the 5 workouts in, and 2 of them were Leslie Sansone. So week 2 was a successful week. This week, this is Tuesday night, December 6th, as I'm recording this. And so far this week, Sunday was workout number 1, Monday was workout number 2, and today was workout number 3. Today was a Leslie Sansone workout, and the other 2 were walks. The plan for the rest of the week at this point is Wednesday, I'm going to be off. Thursday, I'll do another Leslie Sansone. Friday, I'll be off. And Saturday, I will be walking outside. And that will round off week 3 for my 5 workouts. So that's the plan. And that's where we're going to go from there. So I have an announcement to make. This episode, episode 120, is going to be my last episode for the year. My next episode will air January 6th, 2023. Next week, I have some dental work I'm getting done. And with all of the pain I've been experiencing with this dental work, I don't want to have to worry about dealing with a podcast next week. And I want to take the week leading up to Christmas and the week leading up to New Year's off to be with family, to relax, and have a good holiday. I think I've earned that. Last year, I didn't take any weeks off come this time of year. And I felt like I missed the holiday. I was doing so much work with editing, writing, everything else, that I felt like I missed the holiday. So today, as you're listening to this, December 9th, this is going to be my last episode for 2022. There are plenty of episodes to go backwards and listen. So if you haven't done so already, I welcome you to go to the other 119 episodes and enjoy yourself for the next 3 weeks. And I will be back and better than ever on January 6th, 2023 for my first episode of the new year. One common question that I receive is, Don, how do you stay so motivated? Really, if I had a dime every time someone asked me that. I wanted to take today's episode and talk to you about what motivation really is. Okay? Let me ask you this. I'm going to start by asking you a series of questions. How many times have you found yourself saying these things, these phrases to yourself or to others? That doesn't have to be to yourself. It could be you said it to other people in the room. This is it. New year, new me. I'm going to do it this time. Okay, it's time to hit the reset button. I am going to recommit to my journey. Have you ever said any one of those phrases come this time of year? Especially this time of year, but it could be any time of year, really. But come this time of year, a lot of people are saying these phrases. New year, new me. It's like a advertising slogan. It's time to hit the reset button. I can't tell you how many times I hear people say that every week. I'm recommitting to the journey. Again, that's another one I hear regularly. How many times have you said that? And I want you to ask yourself, why do you think there have been so many beginnings? Because that's what each one of those phrases is. It's the beginning of something new. It's the beginning of you jumping back in for the fight. New year, new me. I'm finally going to do it. I'm going to get the health that I've always wanted. It's time to hit that reset button. I got to do what I need to do. I need to get back into gear. That's it. I'm recommitting to the journey. Why have there been so many beginnings? Motivation is a cycle. And maybe many of you won't see it this way, but it is. It is a cycle. The stages of the motivation cycle go like this: need, drive, incentive, reward. These are the 4 stages of the motivation cycle. So you got to get to the point where there's a need. And for many of you listening to me, that need comes from what you saw on the scale. You saw a number on the scale you did not like. You tried to put some pants on, they did not fit. You don't like what you see in the mirror. And then comes the need. The need is, I need to get healthy. So you make your declaration. That's it. I'm going to do what it takes. New year, new me. That's it. It's time to hit the reset button. I really got to get my ass in gear and recommit to this journey. There's the need. And the next stage is drive. And you're doing everything right. You're firing on all cylinders. Why? Because the need is fueling you. The need is fueling you to do the things you were always supposed to be doing in the first place. And you're doing everything in the 90th percentile of accuracy. There is nobody that can doubt your work at this point. And maybe people start to notice. And they say, hey, man, you're doing great. You're so inspiring. That's so awesome. And this leads you to incentive. You like this attention that you're receiving. You like to hear the positive affirmations you're receiving from other people, telling you you're an inspiration, telling you to keep going, telling you you're doing a great job. The pats on the back are your incentive to keep going. And this is followed by the reward. You step on the scale goes down. And all of a sudden, you feel even more motivated. Because of the success of the cycle, you are on fire to continue. And now the need kind of shifts a little bit. It's no longer about your health. The need is to have more of that feeling, more of that success, more of that attention, in addition to the need for health. And the drive keeps you going. Everything is perfect at this point. There is no want for anything. And the people haven't shut up. You look great. You look fantastic. And the incentive keeps pushing you forward. And then you go to step on the scale again. And you receive more reward. And now the third cycle comes around. And you make it, and you notice maybe the people have quieted down now. Maybe the people have gotten used to your new life. And maybe the interest in what you're doing is dying down. And then you also notice you stepped on that scale and it's still successful, but not as successful as it been in the last 2 cycles. But you keep going. And you make it through the entire cycle all over again. And now this time when you get to incentive, there's even less interest in what you're doing. And your reward, when you step on that scale, is even less, if any, at all. This is a critical moment in the motivation cycle. It's critical because few can see it as a moment where something needs to change. Because in reality, they've been doing everything properly. We're going to talk more about that after the break. Don't go anywhere. I now present to you the Ranting Weight Watcher Accountability Creed. If you choose this day to say this creed, you are accountable to me, the author. You are also accountable to all of those before you who have taken the creed, and all of those after you who will take the creed. But most of all, you are accountable to yourself. Now recite with me the Accountability Creed. Nothing can stand in my way because I choose to be unstoppable. My challenges crumble in my presence because I choose strength when I am weak. My insecurities have no power over my life because I choose confidence in the face of fear. I own every last one of my mistakes because I choose growth over mediocrity. The mirror and the scale are powerless because I move forward in spite of the result. Circumstances are not obstacles because I see solutions instead of problems. The demons of my past can no longer torment me because I choose to renew my mind daily. All things are possible as long as I believe, because if God is for me, who can be against me? This is the creed I declare each day. It is about what I do, not what I say. I will learn the work that needs to be done. I will never stop, even when I've won. I will work consistently, no matter the cost. I refuse to believe that all hope is lost. I will work when I want to. I will work when I don't. I will work when they are cheering. I will work when they won't. I will work when it's easy. I will work when it's hard. The atonements that I've made are made with no regard. I will work when it's cold. I will work when it's hot, because choices have consequences, justified or not. When I think I know it all, I will start back at one, because regardless of what I think, the work is never done. And from this moment forward, when times are tough, I choose to believe that I am enough. And we are back. Thanks for sticking with me. So I just want to expand further on what I talked about earlier with my announcement. This is going to be my last podcast for the year. I will return on January 6th, ready to go for you with new episodes. But I am taking a break for the holidays and for some more dental work that needs to be done, which is taking a lot of energy from me. But I will be still around. If you don't already do so, you could join my Facebook groups. I have the Ranting Weight Watcher podcast group, which I post here and there. I'm definitely not as disciplined in that on those posts as I should be. But I post more in the consistency challenge group that I have, because I am working on a consistency challenge that I set forth to myself. So you could still jump on that group if you're not already on it. And that's the RWW Consistency Challenge group on Facebook. You can just search RWW Consistency Challenge, join the group. I will be posting my exercise to stay accountable during the time that I'm off, because I did set a consistency goal for myself. So I will be posting for accountability there. If you don't already follow me on Weight Watchers Connect, I am at Ranting Weight Watcher there. So I won't be totally off the grid. So you will still see me. I'll still be around as long as you're following me in the right places. You won't miss out. It'll just be a couple of episodes that I'm taking off here. Before the break, I was talking about the motivation cycle and how eventually kind of shifts a little bit on you. When you depend on motivation to get you through what you're doing, so many people don't realize motivation is temporary. Very, very few people actually realize this. As you're going through, and at those 4 stages that I described to you, the need, the drive, the incentive, and the reward, you'll notice that the incentive starts to go away. When you're receiving that incentive, it doesn't seem so important anymore for you. Whether the incentive comes from people complimenting you or the incentive comes based on, the things that you're liking that are happening in your journey, they aren't enough anymore at some point. And the reward comes further and further apart. It's not right on time every 7 days, every time you step on the scale anymore. The more successful you become, the further apart the reward gets. And soon, things are not going right anymore. You're wondering, well, what am I doing wrong? What happened? What changed? And the only real thing that changed is you didn't know motivation is temporary. That's the only real thing that changed. Everything you're doing is still there. It was just easier to do because motivation was pushing you and it felt good. Motivation, I have talked about this in other episodes, is like a firework. You light the wick and it shoots up into the sky. And then pow! And all the shiny lights. And then it fizzles to nothing. This is what motivation does. And this is what motivation does to so many that are on the journey. And at this point, when the motivation is starting to die out, we tend to think there's something wrong with us. And there isn't anything wrong with you. Because motivation was always temporary. You just didn't realize it. And there is a very important switch that is needed at this moment. But so many don't realize the switch is there. Instead, they go searching for motivation. Because the motivation felt so good when you had it, you think it's something you lost and you just need to find more of it. And there is no finding more motivation. The only true way to find motivation again is to start failing, go in the wrong direction, negate all of your progress, and right back at the need cycle. That's the real way to find motivation again. So what do you do? What do you do instead? Where is the switch, and what do you do when you find it? The switch is getting to discipline. At some point, discipline has to be what you chase, not motivation. Discipline means you do what needs to be done, regardless of what day of the week it is, regardless of how much sleep you got, regardless of how you're feeling, regardless of how many people are cheering you on. The work needs to be done. And this is why so many people fail. It's because they waste their time looking for that same drive, that same need that brought them here in the first place. The need never left you. Your health is not going to ever leave you. But the nature behind it of you being sick and tired of being unhealthy, that is what leaves you. Because that is what fueled you to begin. Being angry and sick and tired of your current situation caused you to get up off your ass and start doing the work that was always necessary. The problem is when everything you do is based on an emotion, what happens when there are no emotions? What happens when the emotions you have are not enough to fuel you to keep going? This is why so few make it there. Because nobody likes to get up and do it anyway when they don't feel like it. But here's the thing. If you waited for every time you felt like doing something, you'd never get anything done. Never. And I'd love to know how many of you out there are motivated and happy to get in your car every Monday to go to work. How many of you? I'm sure there are some freaks out there that are happy to go to work on Mondays. But how many of you are really thinking, yeah, time to go to work, it's Monday? Or are you thinking, oh God, I can't believe how fast this weekend went. And now it's Monday, and I have to go to work. You don't have motivation to be at work, but something propels you to get there, right? That same action that causes you to wake up on Monday morning and drive to work as much as you don't want to, that is called discipline. Because if you don't get up and go to work on Monday, number one, you're going to lose your job. You're not going to be able to support your family. You're going to have a whole bunch of other problems if you don't do it. And here's the thing. The same thing happens with your weight loss journey. When you don't feel like doing it, the only thing is you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know the consequence. In reality, you know the consequence. You just don't think it can happen to you. I've said it in other podcasts. Every choice you make in life is taking you toward your goal or away from your goal. It is taking you toward life or toward death. The choice is yours. When you get up and go to work, you're making the choice to keep your job. Because you know the consequences losing your job. In reality, when it comes to your weight loss journey, the consequence could very well be your death. But you would never see it that way. If everybody looked at food as a step toward life or death, could you still make the conscious decision knowing that this could cause your death? So instead, we rationalize our decisions. Oh, it's no big deal. You got to be able to have stuff like this once in a while. It's a lifestyle. I don't disagree with any of these ideas. However, the choice to do what is hard has to happen way more often than those choices. However many choices it took you to put you in the position to be sick and tired of your poor health, if you think about how many times you chose death over life, every time you chose made the poor choice towards something that wasn't going to do anything for your body nutritionally, because it would bring pleasure to your mouth, but do nothing for the rest of your body. How many times when you led to the point of, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, how many times did you choose pleasure? Did you choose what is easy rather than what is hard? How many times? You got to have 5 times that choice in the opposite direction to fix what you've created. Look, people wouldn't say it's harder to lose than it is to gain if this wasn't true. Because the choices that cause you to gain are much easier to make because they come with pleasure. And the choices for life are much harder because there's zero pleasure anytime soon. It is a long-term reward. It's not coming anytime soon. And it comes with a lot more hard choices. It's not just one. Many, many, many hard choices follow that. So few make this transition. What will it take for you to step away from motivation and make that final transition to discipline? That's what you should be asking yourself. Because discipline gets up, regardless of what time, regardless of what day, regardless of how much sleep. Discipline gets up and does what's required because discipline chooses life, not death. I need you to make this transition. I need you to stop chasing unicorns. Do the one thing you don't want to do the most, because that's really what's going to get you to the end goal. Looking for motivation? Motivation's a unicorn. You'll never find it. Once you lose it, you never find it until you're at the point where you're back where you started or worse. That's when you'll find motivation again. Motivation is a pipe dream. It did nothing for nobody for any good amount of time. Make the final transition. Because if you achieve discipline, motivation will only prove itself to be useless. Every day, every moment, whatever you don't want to do the most, this is precisely what you need to do at that moment to achieve discipline. Achieving discipline is essential to getting to the end goal. Discipline over your emotions, discipline over your actions, discipline in your mind, your body, and your spirit. Make the switch. So I need to know something. I need to know if you guys are ready. This is the last you're going to hear from me until January 6th, 2023. Especially if you're not following me on Weight Watchers Connect, on Instagram, or if you're not joined into one of my Facebook groups. I have 2 of them. The Ranting Weight Watcher Podcast Facebook group and the RWW Consistency Challenge Facebook group. If you're not in any one of those groups and you don't follow me on Connect or Instagram, this is the last you're going to hear from me until January 6th. And my question to you is, are you ready? We've been through the playoffs. Halloween, Thanksgiving. That's the playoffs. Now we got the championship game coming. Do you have your game plan ready? If you're new here and you haven't heard that episode, go back to the Thanksgiving week episode so you can learn what the game plan is, so you can handle the upcoming holidays in a way that you may feel victorious at the end of it all. Because here's one thing I can assure you of. If anyone ever told you that chasing health would be easy, they were lying to you. Because nothing easy was ever worth doing. And nothing worth doing ever came easy. I need you to figure out right now, what is it that you want most? Do you want true health and longevity? Or do you only want the illusion of health and longevity? Do you just want the world to think you're chasing health, or do you actually want to chase health? Because if you want to live in the delusion, don't come to me. I'm looking for people that want to become the version of themselves they know exists inside them. The one that wants to work hard and do what's required. If you want to be that person, then you're in the right place. If you want the illusion of that person, then go take a walk. Because this is where the hard workers stay. This is where the champions are born. And I'm looking for champions. I'm looking for people that are gonna make it to the end, and I'm gonna take you with me. If you're ready to do that, if you're ready to make the real hard journey here and really dedicate yourself to what it is that you need to do, then stick with me and come to the promised land, because we can't get there alone. We need our support. We need each other, and we need to do it, and we need to fight with everything in us, because it's always easy to go back. It's easy to go back, and it's much harder to keep going forward than it is to go back to where we were. And trust me, the majority of the people you think are your supporters, half of them would walk away tomorrow the minute you look more successful than they do. It's time to think about you. Choose yourself for the first time in your life. Because no one's gonna do it for you. This is your life. This is your battle. This is your testimony being built. You are the author. You are the hero. You are the only one in control of your destiny. No one else can do this for you. It is your fight. I love each and every one of you. God bless you all.